So now on to our third composition with International Master Shankar Ram. But before we jump to the next one, I would just like to ask you on behalf of all novices who enjoy composing and solving but don't know where to start and how to start. What advice would you give to those aspiring composers out there?
Well, they need to look at and understand all the problems which have been composed till now, as many of them. And I think the current generation compared to the one like when I started out in the 1980s, there was no internet at that time. Now you have internet and you have access to a lot of the old magazines and books which have been published. They are available for viewing on the internet in PDF or other formats. And you also have these online databases like PDB and YA, CPDB, where you can search and look at various problems. So by looking at and understanding and playing through all the chess problems, all the classic chess problems, all the famous chess problems which have been already composed, you can get a good background of how the chess problems are developed and what is the current state of the art. This is also good because beginners usually they have this tendency to discover positions which have already been composed. In other words, they may compose positions which are anticipated by composers much earlier. So a knowledge of how to search databases like yet another chess problem database, or if they can afford it, WinClub, it will help them to avoid, trying to publish problems which have obviously been done before or are totally anticipated. And also it will help them to see what are the current themes and trends which are in vogue now. See, many teams they have this. They're in fashion for some days, then they go out of fashion. So it will help to see which are the themes which are going through a trend right now. See, for example, this condition called help self-made. It was initially discovered much earlier, somewhere in the 1930s or 40s or even earlier. But it never took off. It only started becoming very popular some 20 years back when people like the Grandmaster Petkov and then the Romanian composers started popularizing it. Now it looks like it might be as popular as the normal helpmate.
Yeah.
So it will help newcomers to chess problems to find out what is the current state of the art, and this they can do by either subscribing to the magazines, which may cost them a small amount, or by accessing the free content which is widely available on the internet.
Cool. So now let's move on to this composition which you prepared for me. Could you explain a bit about it?
Yeah, it's a composition by me. It won some third prize in the French magazine called Phoenix somewhere in the 1980s. It's a waiting two. It's a two-mover. That is, white has to make the move and checkmate black in two moves. And it uses a fairy piece called locust. These are the sideways queens you see on the diagram. Now a locust is what is called as a hopper, and also it moves and simultaneously captures the piece over which it has hopped over. It can't capture in any other way. So in this, for example, the locust on B7 can move to f3 and simultaneously capture the white pawn on e4. Similarly, the locust on g3 can hop over the white pawn on g6 and move to g7 and simultaneously capture the white pawn on g6.
So basically, what is happening is that if black plays here, then white pawn on g6 disappears. But the locust can't go to g8, right?
No, it goes to the square immediately after the piece it has hopped over, on queen lines, that is.
Okay. So can the locust go to e5?
No, because it can only capture a piece of the opposite color, and since the f4 is a piece of its own color, it obviously can't capture that.
Okay. So here, if white is able to if the white locust is able to hop over the black king, then it would be checkmate, right?
Correct. But currently, both the locusts on c1 and c3, they are blocked by each other.
Yeah. So that's why one move which comes into mind is locust to g5, which destroys the f4 piece and is also threatening locust c1 mate. Yes?
Yeah, but that also unguards the square c3, so black can just capture on c3.
Ah, true.
Black king.
Oh, sorry, not that. Black. So right now, the black king can't move anywhere.
No.
Because if it goes to b3, then white can play locust a3, b2, then locust a1, and so on and so forth. But the locust on f1 right now is not doing anything. So I guess it has an important role to play.
Well, actually, it guards the locust on c1 because the locust on c3 can't guard c1.
Oh, yeah. Because after king takes locust on c1, then this locust on c3 can't go below.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
You take a look at what moves black has right now.
Well, black can play locust f6. He has locust g7 and locust b3.
No, that's not possible because the locust on c1 will check the black king.
Ah, yeah. Then this is possible, which is mate.
So basically, the three white pawns on the diagonal, no, they can be captured by the locusts, and in fact, the white pawn on e4 can be captured by two locusts.
Yeah, locust f3 and locust d4. I was thinking maybe white could play e5.
Yes.
After which, if locust f6, then g7 mate. I think that's mate.
Yeah, that's the part of the intention.
Oh, sorry, this locust on f4, right? But here, he can play take, like this.
Yeah, that's the refutation.
Okay.
Similarly, you can try moving the other two pawns also.
So if f6, then take here.
Yeah, but there are mates possible for the other captures.
Here, let's say if this, then there is e5 mate. If you capture the e4 pawn, then g7 mate. So you must take it like that. And if
Yeah.
g7, then I guess just take the bishop.
No. It has to hop to an empty square.
Oh yeah. So when it is moving, it can't take the bishop because it has to hop to an empty square. That's why locus g8.
Yeah, that's the refutation. But the other black moves have mates.
Like this, then there is f6. Same for this move, f6. And same for locus f6. There would be e5. So,
So this is what is called, this is called a third, 1/3 battery. A regular battery is when you have one piece on the battery line. A half battery is when you have two. And the third battery is when you have three.
Okay, and so on, 1/4 and 1/5. Okay.
So here, all the attempts to open the battery didn't work.
So what's going to be the mating move? Maybe bishop to g8. Threatening bishop b3 check.
But locust can capture it, no?
Oh yeah, locust can capture it. True.
Well, actually that does happen to be the key. It's a waiting move.
Oh, this is a waiting move?
Just like the other three tries were also waiting moves.
But here locus g7, then what is there?
Now something has changed in the position which
Oh, locus to h8?
yes. Since b3 is now guarded by the white bishop,
Okay.
the locust on c3 can move away.
And now
And checkmate by this.
c1. Okay, so that doesn't work. Similarly, if the locus on f6 moves, then there's g7. On g7, that would be made. If here, then again this.
No. That's not a move. That doesn't move.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's not even a move, I realized. If this, then e5.
Yes.
And if this, then you can play bishop to b3.
Yeah, right.
So the key is to play bishop to g8.
Yes, it's a very, what would you say, non-obvious move, because there's a battery aimed at the black king. So obviously solvers will try to see how to activate that battery. But in this case, none of the attempts work. So the solution is to use the rear piece of the battery itself and move it off the battery line to prepare a new set of mates.
Okay.
So in the tries, you have the white bishop and white pawn battery working, and in the after the key you have a locust battery.
Okay. So once again for the viewers, the solution is to play bishop to g8. It's a waiting move. And now any move on this diagonal from d4 to h8, the white locus will just move to the next square on the diagonal, and it will be checkmate because white is threatening to blast the king off with locus c3. Okay, so that was this composition. Sir, when did you make this composition?
I think 1985 or somewhere.
Wow, almost 40 years back. Great. So, sir, thank you very much for your time and sharing your knowledge. You are a great inspiration to young composers, not only in India but on other sides of globes as well. So, thanks once again and good day, sir.
Thanks, Anirudh.
Bye.